Welcome to the channel, folks. Mr. H here for my very special non-spoiler review of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, you might have heard that the Rotten Tomato score has been revealed, and it's not good. More on that on the daily pop culture and movie news show, The Wrap-Up, that I do here on this channel. But I have to say, I really wholeheartedly disagree with them. And again, this is all non-spoilers today in this review. Normally I would discuss non-spoilers, then go into spoilers, but I'm just going to do non-spoilers. And then later on I'll probably do a spoiler-filled podcast with someone else or from the Godzilla community. Straight from the outset, what confuses me with respect to the Rotten Tomato critics that have been revealing their scores and things like that is that this film really does better some of the issues that 2014's Godzilla was claimed to have. So I'm of the mindset that actually I really liked 2014's Godzilla. I thought the sense of scale was fantastic. I thought the monster battles were great. I think that, yes, there were some issues where they cut away and there were some point of views from the humans and things like that. I understand that, and I can see why that was an issue for a lot of people. But for me, I thought it really worked as a modern retelling of Godzilla. I thought it really did work. One of the biggest travesties of that film was killing off Bryan Cranston. That was my main issue with it. Outside of that, I think it really worked, almost as like an indie Godzilla film. And I know that probably sounds really confusing, but that's how I kind of put it. Now, this movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters, absolutely goes tenfold. It goes absolutely balls to the wall on its monster action. So, a lot of people's complaints over 2014's Godzilla was, hey, not enough Godzilla in a movie called Godzilla. Yeah, okay, I can see their complaints. This one, there's so much Godzilla, so much Godzilla. And it works. In my eyes, it really works. From the outset, I will say this, look, any Godzilla fan will love this film. I firmly believe any Godzilla fan will be over the moon with this movie. But also, there's other layers to that. I feel like any child will like this movie. I feel like any big child will like this movie. It really does not take itself overly serious, but it's not tongue-in-cheek either. And what I mean by that is it just embraces the monster brawls. It just embraces the fact that it is a giant monster movie, and it's balls to the wall with that giant titans. It's really great at doing that. So like I say, it's not tongue-in-cheek. Okay, it's not comedic in tone. That's not what I mean by it doesn't take itself seriously. It just understands what it is, and it works with it. And it works with it really well. Now, in terms of the visual effects, I have to praise them because they are, without a shadow of a doubt, some of the best visual effects that I've seen in a movie for the past 10 years. And I really do mean that. Like, just to draw a comparison, because it's been released recently, if we're taking a look at the visual effects of Avengers Endgame versus Godzilla King of the Monsters, one is absolutely more believable than the other, and one is dealing with gigantic monsters. That's how superb they have mastered the effects for this film. And again, it's not a slight on Avengers Endgame. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I'm just trying to show you how good the visual effects are. They really have polished this to such a high degree. It really is like a 10 out of 10 diamond on the visual effects. They are just staggering. King Ghidorah is probably one of the most beautifully terrifying creatures I've seen on screen for so long. It really is. And there was a lot of talk prior to this film's release about motion capture, about making the creatures express themselves with their eyes and their face and things like this. And they weren't lying. They really were not lying. They absolutely managed to achieve something second to none here. King Ghidorah, and again, this is not a spoiler, any Godzilla fan will know this, King Ghidorah has different personalities for the heads, basically. There's 3 different heads. It's not just one head moving around. You know, they're different heads, different personalities. And there's a really great display of that in the movie. And again, it's not gratuitous. It's not done tongue-in-cheek. It works to a very high degree. Rodan, Mothra, so good to see them on screen. So good to see them on screen. Unfortunately, not enough screen time. And again, it's not a spoiler. I'm not telling you what happens to any of them, but there's just not enough of them. However, I will admit that I think Michael Dougherty was caught between a rock and a hard place with the amount of Titans in this movie, because of course, you know, primarily it is about Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah. So I understand that they are the main point to this film. I get that. But when you have two other iconic monsters, it would have been nice to see them just a little bit more. But I was happy with what I saw. Mothra absolutely works. What they did with Mothra is great. In terms of her design, in terms of her kind of connection with Godzilla. And again, Godzilla fans will know this. It's not a spoiler. Yeah, it really did work. So, visually, staggering. Godzilla, for instance, was really good. And yes, they do explain why his spines are bigger. So that was really great. There are a lot of nods for Godzilla fans to follow in this film. I mean, like, a lot of nods. A lot of Easter eggs. I will have to watch this movie again before I do, like, an Easter egg movie review. If I do an Easter egg, video about this film. Because there are just so much. And I'd have to sit there with a pen and paper. But those of you that were looking forward to hearing Godzilla theme, oh, it comes out in all of its masterful glory. Oh, it's so good. Oh, yes, you will not be disappointed with this film. In terms of this score, the visual effects, the story. I think the payoff is there as well. Overall, I would give this film a solid 8.5, verging on a 9. I don't believe any film is a 10 out of 10. I don't think it's possible. But this is the best film I've watched this year so far. And I hope it does really well, because I want to see what's next. And my god, you must stay for the post-credit scene, because what they're teasing next is huge. It really is huge. There's a lot to digest with this movie. There really is. Now, to talk about some slight negatives. And again, just bear in mind, I've just given it an 8.5 verging on a 9 out of 10. Okay? But no film is perfect. And unfortunately, Godzilla King of the Monsters is, again, not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination. They kind of changed the tone of the universe between 2014's Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters. And for some people, you may find it quite jarring. You may genuinely find it quite jarring. We saw it in the trailers. There are some light comedic quips here and there. And, I mean, in my eyes, I thought it worked. But some of it you guys may find a little bit of an issue. But for me, I liked it. But they definitely did change the tone of the universe. However, that to one side, a lot of the main complaints from critics is the sort of incoherent story to follow and limited human narrative. I really didn't think that was an issue at all. In fact, there is a very core human story within this movie. It runs along nicely. We follow the humans working together to find, harmony and balance with the Titans. It works, and I don't really see how it's hard to follow. Genuinely, and again, I'm going to sound like I'm just poo-pooing on all of the critics here, but genuinely, I feel like a 5-year-old could have followed the story. It's very basic. In fact, they've really toned down the human narrative of this movie from 2014's Godzilla. 2014's Godzilla had a very large human narrative, which I liked. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. But they've really toned it down. Like I said, so much so that a 5-year-old could follow the human narrative. And again, that's not a bad point. I thought it was fine. I really did like this movie. Had a great time with this film. I will be watching it again. I will pay money for this film. I will buy it on Blu-ray. I really like this film. This is a Godzilla fan's dream. There's a lot of callbacks So much that I can't really get into it because obviously they're spoilers. But you must stay for all of the credits because there's a lot that the credits tease for where this universe can go. And my god, this universe can go places. They're really teasing a lot. So guys, if you are new here, please do hit subscribe to stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news with my daily pop culture and movie news show, The Wrap Up. And then also to stay up to date on my movie reviews here on the channel. Guys, if you enjoyed this movie review, please do give it a like and a share. Please do share this because I feel that unfortunately too many people take Rotten Tomatoes too seriously. And if, you know, it's coming up with like 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, people might not go and see it. And I want people to see this film. So if you want them to as well, share this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I have been Mr. H. Take care.